29 years here in Atlanta Metro. After a long military career, second phase, chose Atlanta to make my home. I'm originally from Fort Walton Beach, Crestview, Pensacola, that Panhandle area right there. I left there when I was a teenager, when I was about 18, 19 years old, joined the United States Army, long career, and here I am. But before I get into talking about what I really want to talk about, let me mention this right here. In Atlanta, there's over 2.4 million black people here in the Atlanta area, okay? So when people come here, people are moving here because the metropolitan area is growing in all four directions, because of jobs and everything, and it's not gonna stop because of the location of Atlanta, the how it sits and all of the interstate that crisscross going through here. But the thing people are talking about when they do move here, they're looking for these brand name areas and they're asking other people, friends and people who not even their friends about, what's the best area to live? Where do you live? And they're asking all these kind of questions. All that work should have been done prior to even moving anywhere, whether it's Atlanta or Timbuktu. You have to do your work before you move. And then they move here and they move way out because this place is so spread out. And then they get into an area and then they start complaining about the area they moved in. Oh, I don't like it out here. Again, you gotta do your work before you move anywhere. Military career, travel all throughout the United States, overseas, traveling different countries. I've always done my research prior to moving anywhere. So when I got there, if I had any little questions, they were little questions because most of my work I had already done. And back then, they didn't have online back in the day. Right now, everything's a fingertip away. You can read and study and look at all kinds of things and get a better understanding before you even pack up and move anywhere. But getting back to 2.4 million black folks here in the metropolitan Atlanta, that can be hard for people. That can even be difficult for some black people. I've seen black folks move to Metro Atlanta and struggle here because of that. 2.4 million black people. I don't know whether metropolitan area has that. Now, when you Google it, they'll tell you New York City, New Jersey, but you're talking about two states together. I'm talking about one city, one metro has 2.4 million. In other words, there's no other place in America like it that has that many. So, whether city you try to throw out there, I can Google it and it's nowhere, your numbers is nowhere even close to that. They're not. I've already looked at it. And that can be difficult for some people. And I've seen people come here and they be high on their horse at first because they read stuff and then they come here and they struggle a little bit. Then they get mad, they get envious, they get jealous because there's some success here. As a matter of fact, there's a lot of success here. And they see that, then they get jealous and start talking crazy. Oh, it ain't all of that and all kind of stuff. The thing about it is that if it don't work for you, just go ahead and leave. I don't need to confer with nobody. I don't need to sit around and say, how you like Atlanta? I never asked that nobody there. I don't care whether or not you like it or not. I like it. So I don't need to ask you nothing. If you have a problem, either you stay or you leave. But if you're still sitting here and you're just complaining, you really don't want to leave. What you want to do is just be envious and jealous. And that's just a waste of time because especially a person like me, I don't care. I guess misery will love company because you'll find somebody here that will sit with you and talk that crazy talk. But the examples are here of success. They're here. Black people have already done it. The things that you probably trying to achieve to become financially successful, a lot of them has already did it. What's the most black millionaires consolidation of one metropolitan area of any metropolitan area in the United States in the Atlanta area? That's a fact. And the money is here. The opportunities are here. The examples is here. So not everybody is rich. No, not everybody is doing well. That's nowhere in America, whether you're in Atlanta, New York, or wherever else. But here you have a higher concentration of success with black businesses, entrepreneurs. It's a very diverse economy here, and people are doing it. You know, so when you talk about, people come in and talk about these brand name areas they want to live in and asking other people, where you live at? And people tell me, I live over in Marietta. Oh, I live out in Johns Creek. Oh, I live in Alpharetta, and all of these names and stuff. If I were you, I would never get caught up in all of that. Most everywhere in Metro Atlanta has good places. Most of the counties in Metro Atlanta have $1 million plus residential neighborhoods. And a lot of those neighborhoods are black high-end neighborhoods. Not all of them, but there's a lot of them. I'm talking about a lot, not no few. And it's throughout. Whether you're in Fulton, DeKalb, Henry, Douglas, Cobb, Clayton, Rockville, Newton, Gwinnett, they have it. So the thing is just to be proud wherever you research and want to move to. All of those have their neighborhoods or whatever. If you do your research, but trying to get with so many people here and trying to get things going and all this hate and envy, it's a waste of time. Bottom line, don't like it. You can move wherever you want to move to. But the opportunities are here. And it's not about a brand name, whether you're in any of those counties I just mentioned. All of those counties are good places to live. We don't have to keep chasing like we do where we come from. Where I come from, where a lot of you come from, we've chased. And we know we have. We don't want to admit it, but we have. We look at people over there. Oh, they got good schools out there. They got good schools way out over there. So we wind up packing up and moving way over there with them, trying to fit in. Here in Atlanta, you don't have to fit in. There's high-end black folks here. You don't have to fit in. There's high-end, there's money here in Atlanta. There's people that look like me, black millionaires. There's a lot of people doing very well that look like me. You don't have to keep chasing. But sometimes people, they will continue to do it because that's all they know. They've done it, and look, I had it in my blood too, in my mind, but when I joined the military and went in the military and seeing all that high-end black leadership and all of this stuff, I think that would really done it for me. So when I wound up moving to Atlanta many years ago, that didn't really affect me, but I know and I've seen it have effect on some black people that have moved here to Atlanta and seen all of this, because the numbers in any of those counties I just mentioned, you have a lot, 62% black, 65% black, 61% black, 70% black. So in those counties I'm talking about, that's where your numbers are at, in those counties, not Metro Atlanta, not downtown Atlanta. Most of your high-end black neighborhoods, I'm talking black neighborhoods, are in Metro Atlanta. You got some in downtown Atlanta, but most of them are in Metro. What's my point in all of this? Do your research when you get here, if you come in here. If you come in here, there's opportunities for you, but you gotta put the work in. Don't get caught up wasting your time with hatred and seeing some of this stuff. Now, some of this stuff I just mentioned, some folks live here would never see it because they don't get out. They may hear about it, they may not hear about it, because a lot of them, they just get here and they get stuck in an area and they would not go downtown. And if they're downtown, they won't come out of downtown, vice versa, so they don't learn the whole area, no way. And if you're gonna stay in a place, you need to learn what's going on, in my opinion. I know I always have, and actually I did it by months and months of getting out, riding and going to different areas, going all throughout the metro to learn places. And if you're gonna be somewhere, that's a good thing to do. But if you're serious about business, you're serious about some success, well then you're in the right place.